in our hands. Because of the pandemic, we have to go virtual. This conference is organized with a noble intent to further the scientific spirit among common people and to showcase India's scientific achievements. Many events rigorously organized, as was explained earlier, over the past few days. It is heartening to note that this unique annual celebration of science avoided a break this year by utilizing the virtual format. I would like to congratulate CSIR, various ministries, and Vijnana Bharati for this outstanding success. I wish this event continued success in the future too. These 4 events, which were explained by the minister, by the secretary, and by the organizers, showcase the interest of the people, particularly the younger generation, in science. Because science is for the betterment of the humanity. Science, technology, medicine, they are all for betterment of people's lives, to make the people's life more happy. It's not simply making people's life comfortable. We must make people's life more happy. The first is I would like to first appreciate and make people aware of what science and scientists are doing for us. Science is the lifeline of human progress. Hard-working scientists gave us many things, from a light bulb to aeroplane to vaccines that can fight deadly diseases. In fact, we are on the verge of releasing our own indigenous COVID vaccine. Today, the chairman of the Bharat Biotech and other scientists who are working, they met me and they have explained to me the progress they are making. Yesterday, I had a meeting with the Director General, CCMB, Dr. Rakesh Sinha, and other senior scientists, to make me to understand what is happening on this front and the progress that is being made. Beginning with very few testing kits at the beginning of the pandemic, in a span of few months, we have developed cheaper and rapid diagnostics, ventilators, and PPEs. Today, we are even able to export PPEs. That speaks about the capability of our country, scientists, our youngsters. It is in this context that people have to be made aware of scientific developments of the day and the work of the dedicated scientists. In my opinion, there is a second and more important purpose for this event. Science is not just about natural laws and the state-of-the-art technology. Science is also about the spirit of rational inquiry that can guide us in our lives. This is even recognized by our Constitution, which identifies the development of scientific temper as one of fundamental duties. If we imbibe this temper, we can apply scientific methodology to every endeavor of life and make informed decisions. The methodology is simple: inquire, investigate, reason, and satisfied accept. The pandemic has also reinforced the importance of a scientific temper in our lives. One of the major challenges in this has been prevalence of the epidemic, false info on the nature of this. Medication and vaccine caused panic and anxiety among the people. That's because of lack of information with confirmation and spread of the false information. It is not vaccine or drugs that can defeat the infodemic, but a rational outlook among the people. A citizenry that can think critically will be immune to such misinformation or fake news. This spirit of inquiry must be taken to the people. I commend the Indian International Science Festival for its efforts in this regard. India has a very ancient background in science. We had stalwarts in every field of science. We have Aryabhatta and Brahmagupta in mathematics, astronomy, Varaha Mihra, an astronomer, and Polymath and Susruta, who was a pioneer in surgery. Their discoveries were truly amazing and much ahead of their time. Even long before these pioneers, our Indus Valley civilization had such expertise in city planning and construction that was unheard of at the time and still puzzles modern mind. Even in the field of science, India's core philosophy has always been share and care. Our decimal system was borrowed by Arab traders, which later spread to medieval Europe. It is in the same spirit that we have not only become the pharmaceutical hub of the world, but we have been extensively sharing these life-saving drugs with the rest of the developing world. We believe in the concept of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. The world is one big family. We must work for not only our welfare, our country's welfare, but for the welfare of the humanity. That is perhaps why the great botanist, physicist, and the father of radio science, Jagdish Chandra Bose, never filed a single patent despite the many inventions and discoveries he made at the time. It's an understatement to say that India had a long glory of history of science and scientists, but it is appalling that we don't know our own rich history because we were not taught. We were under colonial rule. This should change. We must celebrate our scientific achievements, recognize our people excelling in STEM, science, technology, engineering, mathematics, be it in India or abroad, and encourage children to take up careers in science. India must be a world leader in scientific research once again. My dear brothers and sisters and youngsters, there is a need to inculcate scientific temper at a young age. Children have an inherent curiosity. How we channelize that curiosity is very important. If we encourage them to ask questions and think critically, they become confident, self-assured, and fearless for the rest of their lives. A confident generation means a confident nation. On the other hand, if you discourage them from asking questions and curtail their imagination, they'll forever be dependent on other solutions and remain unsure of themselves. That's why I suggest this to parents and educators. Don't push children to give answers. Instead, nudge them to ask questions. Children should be encouraged to do experiments, not merely read about them in a textbook. Students should be encouraged to discover rather than be told. Rote memorization should be discouraged. An important component to nurture inquisitiveness and kindle creativity in children is the innovative use of games and puzzles. Much more research should be done by designers and child psychologists in this area. I'm happy to notice an exclusive event on toys and games in this event. My dear sisters and brothers, science lays the path to progress and create material wealth for the country. If there's one thing that pandemic has taught us, is that we need to invest and sustain research and development and strive to become self-reliant. Our space program is a sterling example of how self-reliance can be achieved. I'm happy that this conference has taken forward the Prime Minister Sri Narendra Bhai's exhortation for Atmanirbhar Bharat to its theme, Science for Self-Reliant India and Global Welfare. To this extent, I also call upon the private sector to partner with various institutes to promote innovation in the country. We should also aim to first achieve self-reliance in critical sectors like electronics and defense. With the third largest startup ecosystem in the world, and nearly 10,000 technology-led startups, India has great potential to become Atmanirbhar in many sectors. We must encourage them. We must recognize them. We must motivate them. We must also recognize that fourth industrial revolution is underway, and we cannot afford to miss this opportunity this time. We must quickly capitalize on our demographic dividend, skill our youth, and ride this revolution to make our unique mark in the world of science. Brothers and sisters, before concluding, I would like to give 3 suggestions on how science and scientific thinking should progress in the coming years. First, we must increase the focus on science education. As I mentioned earlier, I am referring to both education in science, STEM, and in scientific thinking. We must encourage our children to pursue career in STEM, improve the quality of research in our institutes, increase R&D investments, and encourage diversity in the field. As regards scientific thinking, there is no quick fix, but to nurture critical thinking from a young age through revamped pedagogy. Secondly, sustainability should be an intrinsic part of scientific research. We cannot afford to look at sustainability and technology in silos. We need to go for holistic and interdisciplinary approach in science education that address ecological concerns. In this regard, I am pleased to see that many topics such as biodiversity, clean air, energy, waste and sanitation, and water have been highlighted in this conference. Thirdly, science and technology should address the pressing needs of common man. Otherwise, it has no meaning. Cutting-edge advancements like nanotechnology are strategically important. What is critical is recognizing micro-innovations in agriculture, which is our basic culture, handicrafts, education, and health. For instance, a reliable low-cost water purifier could potentially save millions of lives. A resilient seed variety can benefit an entire farming community. As I said earlier, in the end, science has to make common man's life comfortable. Once again, I'm very happy to be here with you all today. The Indian International Science Festival, led by the Minister, Dr. Harshavardhan, is gradually developing into a mammoth exercise of public engagement in science. This is the need of the hour. I compliment the organizers for the success in the virtual format. They must utilize the learning from this format to host future events in mixed format. I wish ISF many more years of success in furthering the cause of science and scientific thought. My dear friends, in our eternal search for truth, let us imbibe the rigor of a scientist, the wisdom of our ancestors, and the inquisitiveness of a child. This is the more relevant in the current times of the infodemic. I would like to conclude with a very popular Telugu poem from Sumati Satakam that espouses a timely message on the spirit of rational thinking. వినదగు నెవ్వరు చెప్పిన విననంతనే వేగపడక వివరింపదగున్. That means, if translate, listen to anyone and everyone, but don't rush to conclusions right away. Analyze it and reason it out. That is the message of that Sumati Satakam. Friends, today also is the birthday of the great son of this great country, Sri Atal Bihari Vajpayee, and also the great educationalist, Pandit Madan Mohan Malaviya ji. We have Christmas, we have Atalji's birthday, and we have birthday of Madan Mohan Malaviya. We must take inspiration from these lives. The message from Christmas: peace, peace, love, and affection. Peace is the prerequisite for progress. If you have tension, you cannot pay attention. So, we must work for peace. Advancement of science is very useful in strengthening the peace. I would like to once again thank you all. Namaskar. Jai Hind.
बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद माननीय उपराष्ट्रपति.
There you saw Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu addressing the valedictory session of the India International Science Festival. It was the last day. It was inaugurated 3 days ago by Prime Minister Narendra Modi, and Vice President was very clear as to the kind of role that science can play in terms of making India Atmanirbhar as well. Apart from saying that India has become a leader in pharmaceuticals, it said science has a lot of scope for ensuring that India continues on the path of progress, including inculcating the scientific spirit of critical thinking among our children as well. His remarks, one of the potent ones, was to let children question and not force them to answer as well. Okay, now moving on, Prime Minister Narendra Modi distributed fresh installment of PM Kisan Samman Nidhi Yojana via video conferencing today. The PM enabled transfer of 18,000 crore rupees, over 18,000 crore rupees, to more than 9 crore farmer families at the event. The PM also interacted with farmers from 6 different states through the video link. And addressing farmers, the PM said that today more than 18,000 crore rupees have been directly deposited in the accounts of farmers without any middlemen and commissions.
जब से ये योजना शुरू हुई है तब से 1,10,000 करोड़ रुपए से ज्यादा 1,10,000 करोड़ रुपए से ज्यादा किसानों के खाते में पहुंच चुके हैं। और यही तो गुड गवर्नेंस है, यही तो गुड गवर्नेंस टेक्नोलॉजी के द्वारा उपयोग किया गया है। 18,000 करोड़ से ज्यादा रुपए पल भर में, कुछ ही पल में सीधे किसानों के बैंक खातों में जमा हो गए। कोई कमीशन नहीं, कोई कट नहीं, कोई हेराफेरी नहीं। टेक्नोलॉजी का इस्तेमाल करते हुए पीएम किसान सम्मान योजना में ये सुनिश्चित किया गया है कि लीकेज न हो। राज्य सरकारों के माध्यम से किसानों का ऑनलाइन रजिस्ट्रेशन होने के बाद उनके आधार नंबर और बैंक खातों का वेरिफिकेशन होने के बाद इस व्यवस्था का निर्माण हुआ है।
And the PM also said that wrong political ideology has destroyed West Bengal. He asked why is the opposition quiet about this. The PM also said that farmers of Bengal have been deprived of the benefits of the centre's schemes.
जो लोग 30-30 साल तक बंगाल में राज करते थे। एक ऐसी राजनीतिक विचारधारा को लेकर के बंगाल को कहां से कहां ला करके उन्होंने हालत करके रखी है, सारा देश जानता है। और ममता जी के 15 साल पुराने भाषण सुनोगे तो पता चलेगा कि इस राजनीतिक विचारधारा ने बंगाल को कितना बर्बाद कर दिया था। अब ये कैसे लोग हैं? बंगाल में उनकी पार्टी है, उनका संगठन है, 30 साल सरकार चलाई है, कितने लोग होंगे उनके पास? एक बार भी इन लोगों ने किसानों को ये 2000 रुपया मिलने वाला कार्यक्रम है, बंगाल के अंदर कोई आंदोलन नहीं चलाया। क्यों आपने कभी आवाज नहीं उठाई? और आप वहां से उठ करके पंजाब पहुंच गए, तब सवाल उठता है।
And Union Minister Prakash Javadekar allayed the concerns of farmers in Chennai today. While holding a press conference in Chennai, he made it very clear that MSP will stay and that farmers will have every right to sell their produce to anybody who offers them lucrative price anywhere in the country. The minister also said that new farm laws are in the interest of farmers and the system of MSP and APMCs would continue.
We have made very clear that MSP will stay, APMCs will stay, but at the same time farmers must have a right. They were demanding for 40 years that we must have the freedom to sell anybody who gives more price. So it should be the right of the farmers. That is what we are giving. Kisan Samman Yojana. Today, within 2 hours, with the help of technology, at a click of button, 9 crore farmers have received 2,000 each in their bank account. And see once, Congress had given once, as UPA, DMK and Congress, gave only once loan waiver. What was the total bill? 53,000 only. And what we are planning to give for 10 years is 77 lakh crore rupees.
And the minister also said that the BJP has become a #1 party of Jammu and Kashmir and bagged a record number of votes in the DDC elections. Recent local body elections in J&K and Hyderabad are shining examples of this fact. He said that on one hand the BJP is scaling new heights and on the other the Congress is shrinking with each passing day.
The largest party of Jammu Kashmir is now BJP. It has won more number of seats than any other party. It has got a record number of votes. Gupkar Alliance and Independent total is taken together. BJP is still more than that. And Congress has lost badly. Hyderabad, you have seen we had 4 corporators. Now we have 48 corporators. BJP is rising. Congress, the TRS has come down, and Congress has also come down to 1 seat. Their president has resigned.
Now, as the world celebrates Christmas today, celebrations are on at full swing in the country as well. President Ramnath Kovind greeted the nation on the occasion of the festival. The president tweeted, and I quote, "Merry Christmas to everyone. I hope this festival nurtures the peace and prosperity and helps strengthen harmony in society. Let us follow Christ's teachings of love, compassion and charity, committing ourselves to the welfare of society and nation." Prime Minister Narendra Modi also extended greetings on Twitter. The PM tweeted, and I quote, "Merry Christmas. The life and principles of Lord Christ give strength to millions across the world. May his path keep showing the way in building a just and inclusive society. May everybody be happy and healthy." COVID-19 pandemic has not reduced the vigor and joy of Christmas among people. People have come out in large numbers for midnight masses, wearing masks and maintaining social distancing norms. People across the country celebrated the birth of Jesus Christ, conforming to various standard measures and safety protocols. images that we're getting you from different parts of the country. Well, that's it for now in this edition of the news in DD India and DD News. Hope you have a Merry Christmas, and above all, no matter how you celebrate, stay safe.